Prior to purchasing my van, I had all these complicated ideas of how I was going to build a cargo space, but in the end I went with a super simple, no-build build. Just a convertible couch bed and storage boxes for all my stuff. This decision was ultimately based around maintaining as much flexibility as possible. I wanted to be in a position where I'd be able to move everything from this van to another one in under 30 minutes, with no help from anyone else being required. And keeping things simple certainly suits me just fine. After leaving Murala Canal and dropping off a good buddy of mine back home in Tampere after our catch-up, I headed to my first overnight stop on my way to Central Finland. It would be the ABC service centre just outside the town of Orivesi. These larger service centres are great places to stay, particularly if you need to buy more supplies, grab a pizza, or if you need to drop a deuce. Not to mention you can fill up on water and fuel before heading out the next day. Just make sure to ask the manager if it's okay to stay there overnight. Depending on the place, it'll be okay, or it'll be okay for a small fee, something like €10. Anyway, the ABC Oritupa actually ended up being the first place that I'd ever overnighted at on my new van life journey, and apart from some teens on their motorbikes popping in for a few midnight burnouts in the massive car park, the place was super quiet and I got in a very restful night's sleep. I arrived at the beginning of my visit down memory lane when I reached Summassaari, the location of a spa and rehabilitation centre where I'd worked for a while as a physiotherapist way back in 1991. And man, was it super weird to now see it totally uninhabited after it had, I think, become bankrupt at some point. Seeing all the same places, the spa centre, the main building and restaurant area, and all the lakeside holiday cottages now completely empty, I imagined being in Pripyat, the town outside of Chernobyl, which was completely evacuated after the nuclear disaster there. Being in this place again after some 30 years, especially in its current state, gave me a strong sense of melancholy, but it felt like it was very important for me to walk over this ground once again, as if I was getting the chance to put some old ghosts to rest. Prior to moving on from Summassaari, I quickly popped into the Stone Age village area. It wasn't open yet for the day, but I could still see some of it. I could also see how it seemed to be existing on life support. It just felt worn out, but still clinging on to making a few euros from the few tourists bothering to now visit there after the demise of the spa centre. It just felt kinda sad. As I continued on to my main destination of the day, Pyhä-Häkki National Park, I dropped by the country town of Saarijärvi, where I'd lived while working at the spa centre. It was crazy the parts that I remembered with crystal clarity, such as the athletics field and adjacent churches, while other areas were barely a familiar but hazy blur in my memories. Still, I think it was good, just like with Summassaari, to also tread over the same old turf here. And then I arrived at Pyhä-Häkki National Park to walk the Kotajärvi circuit, a 6.5 kilometre walk through some of the most amazing flora in all of Finland. In my next video, I'll be sharing lots of that hike with you, so I guess I'll catch up with you again in that one.